Hello and thank you for watching American Graduate Day. I'm Don Daly with Alabama Public Television, and we'll be focusing on specific state themes as our part of American Graduate today. In this particular segment, we're talking about early education. We're happy to welcome to this segment Gina Ross, who is Commissioner of the Department of Children's Affairs. Commissioner, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Also with us today is Calvin Moore, who's Division Director for Child Protective Services at the Department of Human Resources. Calvin, thank you for being here as well.
Thank you for inviting me.
Calvin, I want to begin with you because there are many infant and toddler programs, and it actually begins there. Education can begin in babyhood, correct?
It does. In fact, we believe that it begins in the early stages of infancy, and for that reason, in Child Care Services, we devote a lot of our earmarking to infant toddler preparation for caregivers, as well as the services that are being provided to infants and toddlers. We have about 5,000 infant and toddlers across the state who participate in our Child Care Subsidy Program, for example, and many of those infants and toddlers are receiving services from caregivers that need support and help, and we provide that for them.
So it's very important for parents to remember how early this educational process starts, and what you say and do in the presence of even an infant is critical.
Yes, I mean, so much work has been done. We know so much more now about brain development, and so it's important for us to also work with parents so that they'll know what they can do very early in a child's life to make a difference.
These providers who become such a vital part of infants and toddlers' lives, there's what's known as the Alabama Quality Stars, where you help motivate and recognize these providers. Tell us about that.
Yes, we're very soon going to be implementing a quality rating and improvement system, which is called Alabama Quality Stars. In fact, we've received a W.K. Kellogg Foundation grant, which will enhance and support those programs that want to be rated. And we hope that in the very near future we'll be able to go out and rate programs, which would include the infants and toddler practitioners that work with young children.
Now, when we say these practitioners, I assume they come in different forms. It's not just daycare, it's more than that, right?
Yes, daycare providers, family child care providers. We also have relative care providers, and of course, parents who choose to stay home with their children. So we'll be serving a wide range of family child care providers and teachers that work with infants and toddlers.
As you're reaching out, getting ready to do this, are you getting good initial response?
We had over 300 programs that volunteered for our pilot of the program. So we're looking for at least that many to come in initially. But there are over 1,000 regulated centers across the state, and so we hope that we'll at least reach a third of them initially in our program.
And from Calvin's work to yours, Commissioner, we talk about early childhood education. Alabama, of course, is recognized nationally for our pre-K program, and we want to keep those standards high.
That's right, because high quality does make the difference. And within our department, we have also received funding for earlier interventions for children and their parents as early as birth and before birth through our home visitation program, because that parent is that child's first and most important teacher. And our pre-K program, again, as you said, is one of the best in the country, and we continue to expand access to that program to make sure that children are ready for school, because we do know that a child that's not ready for school is twice as likely not to be reading in the third grade as like they should. And if they're not reading in the third grade, they're 4 times more likely to drop out of school. So we are very carefully and strategically creating experiences within that classroom so that those children will be ready for school.
You know, there's a concerted effort in the 2020 plan and the Alabama Department of Education to have a 90% high school graduation rate by the year 2020, and it actually starts with your work there in pre-K, does it not?
It does. We know that children as early as 8 months, we can see a vocabulary gap between some children of poverty and other at-risk situations. So we work very hard to close that vocabulary gap in that 4-year-old program, because after they're 4, we know that 85% of who they're going to be, their cognitive skills, their intellect, their personality is formed. So we want to make sure that we do the best we can for those children in those early years.
Now, when we say a nationally recognized pre-K program, what do you think sets us apart, Commissioner?
Well, I think because we do have those all 10 high-quality standards, the degreed teacher, the child ratio, the screenings that are so important, health screenings, like eyes and such for children as they're coming into the classroom. We also want to make sure that they have the environment, the classroom environment that's so important.
And Calvin, in the work that you do, you want to make the transition as easy as possible from infants and toddlers to pre-K, right?
Yes, I think we've been working a lot closer with Commissioner Ross. Our two departments have been working together on a number of initiatives, and most recently the Home Visitors Conference. We're going to be also doing an Infant Toddler Academy in conjunction with that, and I think our whole system has to work together, to pull all the pieces together to work on behalf of young children.
Must make your job easier, Commissioner, having a partner like DHR.
It does. It absolutely does, because we want that birth through age 5 and beyond to be continuous, high quality, and all of our best professionals working to make sure that it is.
Commissioner Ross, Calvin Moore, thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for being with us today on American Graduate Day.
Thank you.
Thank you.